Yeah, I got you too. So,
Okay. All right.
all right, go ahead when you're ready.
All right. Hello, hello. Krystal Longmire here. This is episode or part 2 of the chakra healing series from the Random and Relevant call. And I am super excited to share all of this information. The reason that I'm talking about chakras is because chakras are energy centers. For those of you that were not on the first iteration of this call of part 1, chakras are energy centers that are all over our bodies. And if you know anything about acupuncture or acupressure or anything with like holistic healing, then you may have heard about the meridians. If you use essential oils, a lot of people put essential oils on the bottoms of their feet. The meridians, the channels, the energy centers, they kind of connect to every part of you on the inside of your body. And you have 7 chakras. You have a lot of chakras, but you have 7 main chakras that are aligned down the center of your body. And that photo, which I forgot to pull up, but I will grab it momentarily, the photo of a person sitting Indian style with the lighted up colors down the middle of their body, that is correlating to the 7 chakras, to those energy centers. So on part 1 of this call, we did the first 3 chakras, which is root chakra, sacral chakra, and solar plexus. And today we are going to talk about the last 4. So the first 3 are known as your physical chakras, the physical energy centers. Your 4th, your heart chakra, is the connector between the physical and the spiritual energy centers. And then the last 3, which is throat, third eye, and crown, those are your spiritual energy centers. And we're going to go a little bit in depth on each one of these so that you can understand a little bit more why, or a little bit more about the chakras. And I said why, because I started to say that the reason that I'm talking about this is because it's been an extremely powerful tool in my own healing journey, something that I have focused on and got certified in and studied beyond my certification. And I use it in my healing sessions because I do one-on-one healing sessions to help people with their traumas, release triggers, let go of past pain. There's so many things that these chakras correlate to, and that's what we're going to go in depth on this call. So again, if you missed the first one, if you missed part 1 of this, we talked about the first 3, root, sacral, and solar plexus, and those are live, that call and the other ones that I've done of Random and Relevant, those are live on my YouTube channel. So if you're not already subscribed to my YouTube channel, you can go ahead and hop over to that. We can get that dropped in the chat so that you can have access to that YouTube channel, and then you can subscribe, see any videos that I post now and in the future, and all the ones that you missed from the past. So let me find this photo really quickly. And I'm going to share my screen in just a moment so that you can see what we're talking about. And I know some of you are already a little bit well-versed in this particular topic. And I appreciate anything that you want to add in the chat, if you would like to add anything in the chat. So thank you for being here. Let's go ahead and share the screen. So this is what I was talking about with the energy centers. We did root. These colors actually correlate to the energy centers as well. So we did root, we did sacral, we did solar plexus, and we are going to go into heart. Now, as you can see, this is kind of like a spiral in this heart, but for your awareness, when your chakra is flowing and open, chakras are flowing and open, they kind of are spinning in this little spiral-like movement. And so again, these are your physical energy centers. This is the connector between physical and spiritual. And then these 3 are your spiritual energy centers. So this here is something I posted on my Instagram forever ago, and I'm using it now for reference. But the heart chakra is in the center of your chest, just above your heart. The color that correlates with it is green. The color that correlates with it is green. The element that correlates with it is air. and the mantra that you can use to keep yourself focused during meditation, which we are doing in the live meditation series that I'm doing in my private Facebook group this week. We are using these bija mantras, seed sounds, in the meditations that we're doing. So Yam is the one for heart chakra. And I am going to come back to this in a moment. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and just kind of give you the information from the notes for my certification and beyond on what I learned about these chakras and why it's something that I'm always talking about, why I use it in my healing. So your heart chakra is the energy center that governs your ability to love and your ability to allow yourself to be loved by others. It comes with it the qualities of compassion, of empathy, of forgiveness. And it's the connection center, your ability to connect with other people. And again, the energetic bridge means that it's the center of you as well. When it's optimally functioning, you have the ability to emit loving energy. You are capable of loving others, yourself specifically. You can receive love from others and you feel deeply connected. So you are able to enjoy harmonious exchanges. You can see the good in everyone and in everything, and you can appreciate the beauty in the smallest things. So we have things that cause blockages in our heart chakra, and I'm going to show that graphic on my Instagram again to kind of go in a little bit depth of that. But your heart, your chakras, all of them can be open or they can be closed. They can be blocked. They can be underactive or overactive, which are two different ways to say that they're blocked, or congested. So congested is when it's not fully blocked, but there's like a little bit of mucky muck happening in that space. So when your heart is underactive, you will feel closed off, emotionally closed to other people, or even numb. You might struggle to give or receive love, maybe putting a wall up, finding it difficult to forgive yourself, forgive others, isolate yourself. You might lack empathy or compassion, feel totally disconnected from others, from people that are your loved ones, people outside of yourself, from yourself, overly critical, lacking self-love. And then overactive is going to have some similar symptoms, if you will. But when you're overactive, you are overly connected to others. Some like a word to use to describe that is clingy. You give too much of yourself. You may appear codependent. You might look and feel and seem to others on the outside like you're being really loving, but you're actually just doing it because you feel incomplete. And so you neglect your own emotions for the sake of fulfilling whatever everybody else's needs are. And that makes you feel complete, but it's superficial. You lack boundaries. You are always saying yes, even to your own detriment. And drop a 1 in the chat if you have done this, because my heart chakra tends to be more overactive than underactive. But I've definitely experienced both. Fear of abandonment is something that like I've talked about it on a previous call as well. Fear of abandonment is something that I struggled with for a really long time. Jealousy, possessiveness, that's where the clinginess comes from, and emotional dependence. So I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but this isn't just emotional. These energy centers don't just govern your emotions, but they also govern your organs. And so your heart, your lungs, your respiratory system, your thymus, and your upper back is your heart chakra. So if you notice shortness of breath, symptoms, physical symptoms of heart chakra blockage, could be shortness of breath, could be arrhythmia, like an irregular heartbeat, asthma, restlessness, palpitations, panic attacks, depression, insomnia, lack of energy, open chest. Can you expand on that, Valeria? Chest pain.
Can you hear me?
I can't hear you. Yeah, now I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay, so I just quit my job and that was really stressing me out. And something that happens to me when I stress out is my chest, I'm able to crack it back into place so it opens up. And then my mom, I laid down on the floor and she put pressure on it and it did crack and it made me feel better because I was getting a chest pain as well.
Yeah, so that's probably caused by a heart chakra blockage, and it could be something to do also just with your stress. When you're overly stressed, it causes heart
Imbalances?
Fluctuations, heart fluctuations. And I have heard of that before. But hopefully now that you're no longer working in that place and you won't actually
I'm
have to
trying to plug in,
experience that
girl.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could also experience immune system deficiencies, shoulder pain, and upper back pain. My biggest thing that comes for me on this is the upper back. I feel tense and tight when my heart chakra is blocked. Like I can't stretch it. Like it's just super tight and locked and it won't crack. So it manifests for everybody in different ways. And when it opens, when you open your heart chakra up, you might feel a surge of emotion, like more emotional than normal. And some of those buried emotions that you've been avoiding for a while that you thought you dealt with, then that might resurface. You might feel a deep sense of loss or what's called an emotional hangover. Like if anybody's ever been emotionally exhausted as opposed to physically exhausted, but just emotionally just drained, you might feel something like that. You might feel some similar symptoms to what it feels like when your heart chakra is blocked. It's like chest pain, shortness of breath, palpitations. You might have insomnia. You might have something leading to a depleted immune system. When you clear these energy centers out and you open them up, then it becomes your norm. Then it's actually really like you can tell when you have not necessarily a blockage, but just anything out of tune. So for me, because I've been studying this stuff for such a long time and I've become very in tune with my own physical body and emotional and energetic body, I can actually tell when something's off in my body. And it's not always, sometimes it manifests as a physical symptom, but chakras are so powerful that you can actually engage in meditations for your chakras and you can heal physical symptoms. And I've done that personally. And I've done it with a headache we're going to talk about these other chakras in a minute. I've done it with urinary tract infection for like the lower physical chakras. You can heal a sore throat with a throat chakra meditation. So it's extremely powerful. And a lot of people think, oh, that's just woo woo. And I'm assuming none of those are you that are here listening to this information here, but just for your awareness of how powerful it is, you actually can use meditations and some chakra healing, releasing, opening techniques to heal physical things about yourself or physical symptoms, if you will. So I'm going to share my screen again to go back to this image. And I talked about a lot of this stuff about when unbalanced, asthma, shortness of breath, heart disease. So these things that are listed here, shortness of breath, heart disease, kyphosis. So if you don't know what kyphosis is, it's when your shoulders are rolled forward and you can't straighten your back. This happens sometimes not just because of a heart chakra blockage, but because we're always on our phones and our shoulders are rolling forward and we're looking down at our phones or we're looking down at our laptops. And that kyphosis can be something that happens physically, not just necessarily because of a heart chakra blockage. But to correct this, you can do heart opening chakra or heart opening yoga meditations. Or yoga posture, sorry. And that will help to open your heart chakra area, reversing that kyphosis. But it also helps with things like sarcasm, jealousy, meanness, bitterness, fear of being alone, arm pain, wrist pain, inability to forgive or feel empathy, trust issues, holding grudges. Now, I made these graphics after I got my chakra meditation or my chakra healing certification. And then after I made these, I was like, I want to study this deeper. And that's where I got all this information that I just shared with you before I shared this graphic. Now I'm going to click on this post so that you can see this, because this shows how you can open or balance your chakra. And one of the most powerful ways for me and all of these is meditation on that chakra, which is why I'm doing a chakra meditation series in my private Facebook group right now. But there's other things that you can do for the other ones. And again, if you missed the first three, go back to my YouTube channel and watch those first three episodes, or watch that last episode so you can see the first three chakras. So every chakra will be balanced more if you spend more time in nature. And we are in our winter months, and I know some of you live in winter places, and it's maybe more challenging to spend time in nature. So if that is the case for you, one of the things that you can do to mimic nature is take an Epsom salt bath. And that Epsom salt bath actually grounds you from the water element, the Epsom salt being the earth element, and just that solitude. And it's going to help in any chakra as well, which is not listed on this paper. Practicing gratitude is also going to balance every single chakra. Again, I mentioned that the color for this area, the color for this energy center is green. So if you wear green, especially in the absence of being able to be outside in the green nature, then that is going to help. And also surrounding yourself with the color green. I've never practiced Tai Chi or Qigong, but those are very powerful heart chakra opening exercises in addition to yoga, which is also good for every single chakra. Practicing giving and receiving love, which is, this is distracting me. Practice giving and receiving love. That is going to open every single one as well, but specifically this one. And we can go ahead and do this one now. If you want to put your hands over your heart, left hand over right, and maybe even close your eyes for just a moment and breathe. And imagine that love is flowing from your hands into your heart. Sending love to yourself, feeling the beat of your heart beneath your hands. And this can actually help if you feel a shortness of breath, if you feel overwhelmed, if you feel stressed, if you feel heart palpitations, those physical symptoms. If you stop and slow down, just place your hands over your heart and breathe. Send nurturing, healing, loving energy to yourself. Just a few seconds. It doesn't even take that long. So we can't say we don't have time, right? Can't say we don't have time. Okay, good, good. Thank you for participating. Let me know if you felt that. Drop something in the chat to let me know if you felt the difference, if you could feel the love actually going into your heart. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Amazing. Amazing, amazing. Telling yourself I love you. This is most powerful if you do it in the mirror when you look into your own eyes. So go into, and it feels awkward if you've never done it, but trust me, try it and go into the mirror. And some people can't say it. Some people can't utter the words. Or if they do, it doesn't feel genuine. They can't really look into their own eyes. But the more, like, I actually did a Love Your Body challenge earlier this year. And part of it was that we had to do this every day. Every day we had to go for 30 days. We had to go into the mirror and say, I love you to ourselves. And then I recorded the difference, like from the first day where people were like, this is awkward. It feels uncomfortable. I don't want to do it, to when like they couldn't say it without smiling. They couldn't say it without like feeling the love in their heart. They couldn't say it without some of them crying because they could feel the emotion of it. It's extremely powerful. I highly recommend it. And then deep breathing exercises as well. So deep breathing exercises is another way to open the heart chakra. Can't work out and look in the mirror. Yeah, that can be challenging for a lot of us, I think. That can be challenging for a lot of us. So next we have our throat chakra. And I just stopped sharing my screen, so I'll go back to that in a minute. Oh, and I forgot to tell you Anahata, which I think was on the graphic. Anahata is the Sanskrit word for heart chakra, and that means unstruck, unhurt, and unbeaten. And Sanskrit is a dead language that was used when yoga was first created, and they use it still because it's very powerful with just like a few syllables. Those few syllables correlate to entire sentences. And so Anahata is the heart chakra for the Sanskrit word. Now the throat chakra is located in your throat, and it's Vishuddha. Vishuddha is how you say that. And that means especially pure. Now, this is the energy center that governs your communication. Imagine that, right? Your throat governs your communication, your speech. It's linked directly also to your integrity and your morals. So interestingly, this governs, and I thought this was really interesting when I first learned this. Yes. Thank you, Anu. Sanskrit is like Latin. It provides roots of many words. Absolutely. So the throat chakra governs your ears, and it allows you to hear your inner voice of your intuition. So your intuition is the next chakra that we're going to go into, but the throat allows you to hear this inner voice of the intuition. And it's also directly connected to your sacral chakra, which is the second chakra, and we talked about on the last call. So when it's performing optimally, you have this amplified ability to hear that inner voice and allowing your intuition to speak itself, to speak through itself. When it's underactive, you're going to suppress your feelings, be fearful of speaking your truth, which I think a lot of us have been there. You might be shy, you might stumble over your words, stutter, swallow your words, like want to say something, but you just don't actually let the words come out of your mouth, compromising your integrity, feel insecurity, speaking too softly, too timidly, struggle with creativity. And that's why I mentioned that your throat chakra is directly connected to your sacral chakra, because your sacral is the chakra of your creativity center. And so if you have a blockage in your throat chakra, sometimes you can have also a congestion or a disconnect with that sacral chakra, which is governing the creativity center. You might experience an artistic block, again, with the creativity, suppressing your ideas, suppressing your insights. And if it's overactive, you're likely going to be overly critical, judgmental of yourself, judgmental of other people, gossipy, talking nonstop, extremely loud, extremely shrill, might even be shouting when you speak. Communication method might be domineering over others, like you're talking down to people, talking over people, and your own loudness of your own voice stops you from hearing the inner voice. And therefore you're out of sync with your true self. So hopefully that makes sense. When you this becomes like when you overanalyze everything, you become intellectual about everything to avoid your own true feelings. And the organs that this governs, in addition to your ears, is your mouth, your tongue, your neck, your thyroid, and your parathyroid glands. And symptoms of a blocked throat chakra could be sore throat, which I think is pretty obvious. Sore throat, including strep, speech impediments, stuttering, lisps, jaw pain, mouth pain, hearing issues, ear infections, neck pain, like, sometimes it's just because you slept wrong, right? Not everything is a blockage of your chakras, but it could be neck pain, thyroid disorders, and hormone imbalance. And let me see, let me go back to this picture. So this is the throat chakra here. The color that it correlates with is the color blue. And let me close this out. So throat chakra, color blue, location throat, element ether, mantra hum. So they all end with AM, and the beginning letter is different. Well, not all of them, actually. The last one's a little different, but they mostly end with AM, and they're lam, vam, hum, right? And when it's unbalanced, right? We talked about all of this. You never speak up. You have a need to be right all the time. Like you think you're right about everything, or you can't express yourself. You're overshadowing. Lying can be a symptom. And we already talked about all these other ones. And what causes it is especially interesting to me. You're belittled all the time, always interrupted. You have a fear of approval. You're being lied to. You experience irritation, anger, and then cultural is what oftentimes causes a throat chakra blockage. And this is for a lot of those cultures, Latin, and I don't know, I know about Latin culture because that's where I'm from, but a lot of other cultures expect that the women be seen and not heard, and, just sit over there and look pretty. you know, this is a man's conversation, keep yourself out of it. Those types of things, that's cultural. And that can cause a lot of throat chakra blockages for women, especially, not just for women, but if you are from that culture, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And so that's interesting because, you know, if you become aware of this and you start to reverse it and you're still living in that culture, then that can be an interesting paradox. So for the how to balance, we have deep breathing exercises. Remember, I said some of these will help you open all of the chakras. Safe space for expression. So if you don't have a safe space for expression inside your home, then go outside of your home and find a safe space for you to express outside of your home. Sing your heart out. Even if you can't sing, even if you're tone deaf, me, right? Even if you cannot sing on key, me, okay? But I love singing and it actually really, really opens your throat chakra. I love singing songs, rapping songs, like I know all the words to them, especially when I'm driving in a car. Maybe that's not it for you. Maybe you want to sing in the shower where nobody can hear you, whatever it is, right? Sing, and it actually opens your throat chakra. Speaking your truth. So say how you really feel. This doesn't mean be a jerk or talk down to people or be domineering or be condescending, right? But it does mean like stand up for you and be able to speak your actual truth and say how you really feel about things. And the more that you do that, the easier it becomes. Wearing the color blue because blue is the color. Journaling actually rests your throat for those with an overactive chakra, with all of those overactive chakra symptoms. So resting your throat and journaling and writing out your feelings, your emotions, your truth. One of my favorite healing techniques, if you've ever been on one of my sessions, lying on your back, resting your head and your neck can help to open. Yoga is not on here, but yoga, there's throat chakra opening yoga asanas, yoga postures, and then creative expression of any sort. So painting, dancing, drawing, poetry, writing, anything that's a creative expression or feels like a creative expression to you, those are all ways that you can open your throat chakra. And I forgot to mention these on the last one, so I'll go back in just a second, but you can balance your chakra using crystals such as blue sapphire, aquamarine, turquoise. And then I have other ones here, lapis lazuli, which is also good for the throat, the third eye, blue agate, which I'm pretty sure I'm not pronouncing that right. And then essential oils, spearmint, chamomile, frankincense, frankincense is good for every chakra. It balances everything. It's one of the highest spiritual oils, black spruce, lavender, and then clove, eucalyptus, tea tree, and peppermint also open the throat chakra. So again, I did not talk about that for the heart. So let me go back to the heart for a second. So the stones for heart chakra, rose quartz, jade, green aventurine, and green tourmaline. And then in my notes here, also emerald, chrysoprase, and morganite. And then the essential oils, rose, which is the highest vibrational essential oil. We've got the highest spiritual oil in frankincense, and rose is like hertz wise, if you measure by hertz, because everything has a vibration, rose is the highest vibrational oil because the highest emotion of love. Geranium, bergamot, neroli, and lavender, and then also helichrysum and jasmine. So those are some of the multiple ways that you can open these chakras or balance these chakras and the things that you can do. And another thing that I did not talk about, this is what happens when you have 2 weeks in between calls. I forgot everything I covered on the last one. Affirmations is another one, which I use those affirmations in my meditation. My favorite heart chakra affirmation is, I open my heart to higher and higher levels of love. I open my heart to higher and higher levels of love. Oh, I've never had rose tea. I'm gonna have to try that. Another good one is, my true nature is love. And because what oftentimes causes the blockage in the heart chakra is abandonment, one of the best ones for healing of the heart chakra is, I forgive, I free myself from the past. I forgive, I free myself from the past. So those are 3 heart chakra affirmations. And then throat chakra affirmations. My favorite, it's actually a long one. I'm only going to tell you two, but my favorite one is I speak the truth of who I am with love, wisdom, and clarity. I speak the truth of who I am with love, wisdom, and clarity. And another really good one for throat is I am divine expression. I am divine expression. Okay, so now that we've got all of the bases covered on those two, we're gonna get two more. And then at the end, we are going to do a guided meditation for all 7 of the chakras. So I'm super excited about that. Let's see, third eye, okay, right here. Third eye, I know we have heard of this, right? It's right here between your brows. Ajna is the Sanskrit word for this one. And that means to perceive, or it means beyond wisdom. And this is the energy center of your mind and your psychic ability. And by psychic ability, I mean intuition. Your intuition is your psychic ability, and it can go beyond that depending on how much you nurture it. It governs your foresight, and because it sees things that are not necessarily visible, that's why your intuition, or it leads you, and why you want to make sure that your third eye is the same thing as your pineal gland, by the way, if you've ever heard of that. And so that's why you want to make sure that your pineal gland is not calcified. And there are things that calcify your pineal gland, such as fluoride. So if you've ever seen me talking about all of these different things, like drinking clean water and making sure that you don't have fluoride in your toothpaste, besides the fact that that's an extremely toxic chemical, part of the reason that I'm talking about that is because you want your third eye to be decalcified and open. And the reason that they put this stuff in all of our products is because they want us to be programmable, and they want us to be puppets, and they want us to do what we're told and to follow the masses. And that's a topic for a different call, but I'm just throwing that out there as a side note because the third eye is extremely powerful. And there are some people who believe that this stuff is not only woo-woo, but like against God. And I'm not going to go into that here either. But that to me is just a lack of awareness of this information and a lack of consciousness and understanding. And again, not going to go in depth on that, but I'm just adding that also as a side note, because especially if this is new information to you, you might feel like, well, is this okay for me to be studying? And of course, make your own opinions and, learn and go by your own intuition, but understand that there's so much that we don't know, and taking one narrative and following that is kind of what they want you to do. So back to this topic here, stimulating. Okay, when your third eye is functioning optimally, you are going to be stimulating the right and the left side of your brain. So the right hemisphere and the left hemisphere. So the right hemisphere is your creative and spiritual side, and the left hemisphere is the logical and rational side. And when your third eye is optimally functioning, those sides are equally stimulated so that the brain can, let me read this properly, so that they can work together and the mind can function from a grounded place. So when you are functioning optimally here, you are trusting your intuition. So side note, anxiety sometimes feels like intuition, but the difference is that anxiety feels like panic and intuition does not. And so what I mean by that is I feel my intuition not here, but in my gut, because that's what leads me. And everybody is different, right? Some people feel it in their chest. Some people feel it in their gut. Some people actually feel it in their third eye when their intuition is going off, when something is telling them that something's not right, or somebody's not to be trusted, right? Especially women have a stronger intuition than men. And so when you have something go off in your intuition, sometimes it can feel like anxiety. And for me, when I was learning this information, I had anxiety very intensely. And so I couldn't tell the difference between my intuition and my anxiety. So I'm just throwing that out there if this is new information to you, or if you didn't know that, right? Just to be aware of that. Anxiety feels like panic. So for example, when my intuition goes off, I get butterflies in my stomach. When I have anxiety, I get butterflies in my stomach. But the anxiety is paired with that panic feeling, and the intuition is just the butterflies. For me, it's going to feel different to everybody, but I'm just kind of differentiating those two things. So again, we're still on the optimal functioning. You're living in harmony with yourself. You're comfortable in the path that you've chosen for you, and you can use your feelings and facts to make big decisions. When your third eye is underactive, you will likely lack a sense of purpose, lacking belief in yourself, lack belief in your chosen path. You might feel uninspired, energetically drained, as opposed to emotionally drained, like we talked about with the heart chakra. So energetically drained, that's different. Disheartened, skeptical, and fearful of the unknown. And if it's blocked, so this particular source that I used decided to go into depth on blocked versus underactive and overactive. So blocked, you can't connect to your intuition at all. You don't trust your intuition, and you don't which means you don't trust yourself, by the way. You struggle concentrating, you have difficulty processing information, and you say things like, I don't dream. I never dream. And so if that's you, if you feel like you never dream, you do dream, you just don't remember the dream. You're not connected to your third eye, to your intuition, to yourself, to your energy centers as a whole, and you don't remember your dreams. So it's actually a scientific fact, by the way. But I also used to say that I don't dream, but now I dream all the time. And so overactive is intense physical and psychological symptoms. So mentally overwhelmed, imagination in overdrive, which fully clouds your intuition, overly subjective. So you view everything from like a limited lens, and that results in narrow-mindedness and inflexibility. And it makes you become like overly intellectual. And that is typically at the expense of your spiritual needs and your emotional needs. And your self-image can be distorted, and you can struggle with self-acceptance, including the acceptance of your shadow self. Okay. And what's your shadow self? Your shadow self is those traumas and those triggers and that like small self version of you before you started to learn that there was a higher version of you, a better version of you, right? And the shadow self is like who you are, quote unquote, at your worst, but that's still part of who you are. So accepting that shadow self is an extremely important part of your healing journey. And then sometimes if your third eye is overactive, you can be overactively clairvoyant. And then that can be scary if you've never experienced it before. So that is all of that with the overactive, underactive. Now, the organs that this is going to govern is your pituitary gland, your pineal gland. Again, it's the one and the same. Neurological symptoms like a headache, eyes, ears, and nose. So I said eyes, ears, and nose. Actually, I said ears on the last one, right? So this is where they start to kind of intermingle. And again, they're all connected to each other. So just like your bottom two, your root and your sacral chakra have some of the similar governing bodies like your lower back and your digestive organs, same thing up here, right? They're connected to each other. So it could be this or it could be that. Symptoms of blockages or congestion or overactive or underactive: migraines, sinus issues, blurred vision, eye strain, like difficulty, like feeling like you need to like squint all the time, cataracts, glaucoma, insomnia, hallucination, both audible hallucination and visual hallucination, immune system deficiency, so autoimmune disorders, high blood pressure, hormonal imbalances, and compromised adrenal function. Okay. So let's see here. Let's go ahead and share the screen again. So here we are. This is the third eye. The color of this is kind of like an indigo violet right here, third eye. And then we're going to go back to these. between eyebrows. Okay. So the element is not applicable. Okay, we've talked about elements for the first 5, but the 6th and 7th don't have an element. The mantra is Sham. Sham. And we've talked about all these when unbalanced. What causes that? Well, trauma, wide range of trauma, bad emotional experiences, too much multitasking, which I think is a thing that our society does in general, trying to do too many things. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, lack of self-belief, and experiencing infidelity. So interestingly, fear of failure and fear of judgment cause an imbalance and are a symptom of imbalance of this chakra. So I find that kind of interesting. It's a parallel. 6th chakra, again, it's known as the third eye or ajna. And affirmations, we're going to go over those in just a second. Trusting your intuition, keeping a dream journal. So if you don't dream now, or if you don't remember your dreams now, and you start to step into this space and open and heal and release and align, you're going to start dreaming eventually, or you're going to start remembering your dreams. If you want to remember your dreams more, write them down as soon as you wake up. And keep a dream journal. I don't write down every one of my dreams. I just write down the dreams that I wake up and I'm like, wow, that was a weird dream. And then I write those down. Because this is kind of another topic, but dreams have meaning and they're not literal. For example, if someone's trying to kill you in your dream, that doesn't mean someone's actually trying to kill you, right? But there is a meaning to that, okay? And you can actually look up dream dictionaries and stuff like that. But really, you don't necessarily need the dream dictionary, because your inner self will tell you what the dream means if you start keeping the dream journal, writing down the dreams. And then you can even do something that actually my husband shared with me that he started doing, is write your dreams, write questions down before you go to bed. And then sometimes you'll get the answer to the question in the dream. And that's actually really cool. I've done that a couple of times. And it's not always going to be literal. It's generally not literal. It might not even be from a dream. It might just be your subconscious worked out the answer to the question while you were sleeping, and you wake up and you know the answer. Praying, talking to God, asking for guidance, speaking to the universe, whoever your higher power is, that's also going to balance and open this chakra. Eat dark blue or purple foods. Blueberries, eggplant. Those are the only 2 I can think of off the top of my head. Gaze at the stars. We did a lot of this when we were in Belize. We live in Miami and there's a lot of light pollution here. Not really applicable or ample for stargazing, but we were in Belize in the middle of nowhere, kind of. And at night, the stars were stunning. And we laid out and gazed at the stars for over an hour, a couple of times, and it was amazing. Wearing the color purple is good. Detoxify your pineal gland. Drink water, but not just any water. Please don't drink water from your tap. And then creative expression. Again, a lot of these are going to do they're going to be multiple, a lot of these ways to balance the chakras are going to open multiple chakras. So balancing using stones. So if you want to use crystals, purple fluorite is a great one. Lapis lazuli, I just told you that for the throat. That's actually my favorite crystal. Lapis lazuli is my absolute favorite. Moonstone, amethyst, sapphire, labradorite, celestite, and azurite. And then essential oils, sandalwood, patchouli, bergamot, and vetiver. In addition to helichrysum, juniper, lavender, palo santo, which is hard to find in essential oil form, black spruce, and clary sage. So you can also just burn palo santo, not necessarily the oil, but the actual herb. You can burn the palo santo, you can burn white sage, clary sage. Those are all going to be, and sage the spice too. All very good for the third eye. And you may have noticed that I listed lavender and frankincense multiple times. These are good for a lot of chakras. Again, frankincense is the universal, and you can put that right on the top of your head. And by the way, I also sell these essential oils blends for each one of these chakras. And I'm working on getting a storefront up online. Right now, I just sell them via my Instagram or via like Facebook Messenger, however you want to contact me, and you just send me Zelle. But I created recipes for each one of these chakras after I started studying this more and got into essential oils. So just for your awareness, if you're interested, that's also something that would be available to you. You just have to reach out to me and I can share with you what I have available. And if you want all 7 of them, you actually get a really good discount. Plums, purple cabbage. By the way, this Krystal Sambeline that's commenting in here is not me. She's logged into my account, but thank you. She's one of my oil customers, if you will. Okay, so affirmations. I almost forgot. So affirmations. I see clearly is my favorite. I see clearly. Sveta, if that's how you say your name, definitely message me on Instagram or however you had access to this. And then we can talk about getting some oils to you, okay? Affirmation, I embrace and trust my inner wisdom and guidance. I embrace and trust my inner wisdom and guidance. I take regular steps to declutter my mind of thoughts and feelings that do not serve me. I take regular steps to declutter my mind of thoughts and feelings that do not serve me. Okay, last one, and then we get to meditate. Yay. So crown chakra is the last one. Crown chakra, Sahasrara. I know I'm not pronouncing that right. I'll show you how to spell it in just a second. And it's the 1,000-petal lotus. And if you guys follow me on social media, I posted this picture of this lotus flower the other day from when we were in Belize. We went to this farm and they had lotus flowers, and it was one of the most stunning flowers I have ever seen in my life. They only lived for 3 days. Absolutely beautiful. This is the seat of your consciousness. So your awareness, your connection to your higher power, it governs your wisdom, your awareness, and plays a fundamental role in the functioning of all of your energy bodies, regulating your prana. And if you don't know what that means, prana is life force energy. So when I was first studying this information, I kept referring to prana as breath, which you can tap into your prana via your breath. But prana is the life force energy, like almost like your aura, if you will. It's very hard to describe. Cindy, I know you studied yoga as well, if you have a better way to describe it and you want to put it in the chat for me. But life force energy is the best way that I can describe that. And it connects into your other 6 chakras. It's the bridge between the physical world, like your physical body, and the non-physical world. There's, again, these are the 7 main chakras. There's an 8th chakra, which we're not going to talk about, just above your head. And then it goes all the way up to 12, way past up into the universal body. Okay, so we're not going to talk about those, but just know that they also exist. Optimal function, you feel a sense of unity, you feel enlightenment, you feel serenity, and you see the divinity, the divineness. Divinity is the proper word, in everything. So we talked about seeing the good in everything with your heart chakra balance, but when your crown chakra is optimally functioning, you see the divinity, like everything is divine. Everything is created by source, by God. Everything is one and the same. We are all one and the same. We are all mirrors of each other. So underactive, you feel apathetic. Apathetic is like one level before depressed. Lonely, passive, energetically numb, physically fatigued, disconnected from other people, lack of direction. You have a sense that you're just like aimlessly drifting through life, no purpose, no connection to yourself, no connection to God, to your higher power. And then overactive, you have this intense desire for material belongings that can never be satiated, can never be satisfied. You feel greedy. Well, you don't feel greedy because most people, when they are greedy, they don't know they're greedy. But you are greedy. You are superficial, arrogant about life, which extends to other people, resulting in a further disconnect from humanity, from the humanness of people. Instead of seeing divine connection, we see all the things that disconnect us. An example of that is I used to have this like mentality, people suck. I used to say that and feel that people suck. And some people aren't the best, okay? But now I view things as like, wow, they must be really hurting. They must be really unhealed. They must be really traumatized. They must have experienced something very painful, and they must not know how else to cope with it than to act like X. No longer is it people suck, right? Now it's like, wow, I'm going to send you love. I'm going to send you healing energy and hope that you find your path. There's a huge difference, and it feels different on the inside. Also overactive is being obsessed with spirituality. So feeling like you need spirituality to fix you. And when this is the case, then you can also become ungrounded, like too focused on all the things spiritual, too focused on like being conscious and raising your consciousness and raising your vibration and raising your awareness and kind of like getting your head in the clouds almost, if you will. So that's kind of overactive. Organs, pineal gland, just like third eye, neurological system, eyes, system, I said symptom, system, eyes, ears, and nose. So the exact same things that the third eye governs, the crown chakra governs. And if you ever have like a crazy, nasty headache, tapping into either a third eye meditation or a crown chakra meditation will either completely get rid of the headache or really help it and dissipate it. And I've done it multiple times. I've actually done this with someone who didn't know anything about chakras, had never meditated before. And it was somebody who reached out to me over a year ago and had had a headache for 4 days and hadn't been able to eat for the last 2 days because the headache was nauseating, and wanted me to give them a natural way to heal it. And I said, I don't know if this is going to work, but try this. And I sent him a meditation, and he messaged me back in 10 minutes and he was like, what did you do? I was like, I didn't do anything. You just balanced your chakra that was out of balance. He's like, seriously, I have been in so much pain for 4 days. That was magic. Thank you so much. And so my point is, even when you don't believe in this, have never heard of it, and don't understand it, it still works. It's still very powerful. Okay. Symptoms, migraines, pituitary gland issues. A lot of these are very similar to third eye. Thyroid issues, hormonal imbalance, chronic fatigue, hair loss, cognitive issues like Alzheimer's, dementia, or other types of cognitive issues, neurological disorders, nerve pain, psychological issues from anxiety to depression and everything in between. Get back to the screen. Okay, so this color is UV white light, like bright white light. Hello, there we go. Element not applicable. Crown of head is where it's located. Right here on the top of your head, or actually just slightly above it. We've talked about when unbalanced, all these different things that you might experience. What can cause it? Death of a loved one, conditioned programming, like being programmed that, you know, kind of cultural almost. Cultural programming is also on here. Shallow relationships, so superficial relationships without depth and authenticity. Fear of change and repressing your emotions, and having a big ego. So having a big ego, there's lots of different definitions of ego. But in this sense, what I'm talking about is not just having a big ego, like thinking you're better than other people, which I think is what most people think ego is. But I'm also talking about the ego as the role that you play. So if you've never heard of that, write that down. An ego is just a role that you play, meaning I'm a woman, I'm a wife, I'm a holistic healer, I'm a teacher, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, I'm a friend. Formerly, I was in network marketing, so that was a role that I played. And so when you are so obsessed with the role that you play, which actually indicates your identity, then you can throw your crown chakra out of balance. So hopefully that makes sense. So how to balance meditation with a golden light at the crown of your head. Oh, I haven't done that meditation in a long time. I think I'll do that when we do our crown chakra meditation next week, actually, is when we're going to be doing it. Listen to positive and inspiring music. So if you're listening to music that is low vibration and is cussing and is talking about drugs and, you know, objectifying women and, you know, killing people, which is a lot of like hip hop and rap. And I do like that music, right? But if your crown chakra is blocked, I'm going to need you to step away. High vibrational music, selfless service, contribution. So giving, contribution of your time, contribution of your money, contribution of your energy, contribution of just like giving love to people, giving, like if you don't have the finances to give money, then use other ways to do selfless service. Be aware of ego flare-ups. So if you start feeling like you need to, you know, say it with your chest or like get out there and like really flaunt your peacock feathers, right? Step back and be aware of like, why am I showing off like this? Why am I like, what in my identity and my role am I trying to protect, preserve? Sitting with yourself in silence, watching the sunset, watching the sunrise, also doing what inspires you, and then going outside and enjoying nature. That is for all 7 of these chakras. For stones, we've got celestite, selenite, obsidian, clear quartz. Amethyst also opens this one, even though it also does third eye. Diamonds, if you want to have our best friends. Diamonds are a girl's best friend, I think they say, right? And then oils. So lavender and frankincense, myrrh, spikenard, jasmine, lotus, and rose. And then our affirmations. I am connected to God or connected to source, whichever label you would like to use. I'm connected to my higher power. I embrace the perfection in the imperfection. I embrace the perfection in the imperfection. And just because I also love this one a lot, I trust that all is unfolding for my best and highest good. I trust that all is unfolding for my best and highest good. Okay. So that concludes our educational portion on the chakras, and we are going to go ahead and step into a brief meditation. We are at the top of the hour. It is almost 8 o'clock Eastern. So if you can stay for the meditation, it's going to be about 10 minutes. We are going to go over a little bit. So I do apologize for that, but this meditation will be fabulous. So if you want to go ahead and get into a comfortable position, whether you choose to sit in a crisscross applesauce kind of position, or if you want to lie down, you're welcome to do that. You can leave your camera on or turn it off, whatever feels good for you. And then just get settled in the position that you would like to utilize for this evening's meditation. When you're ready, go ahead and close your eyes. And notice your breath. Not necessarily manipulating your breath, but just noticing it. Taking a moment for a full body scan. Notice any tension, any tightness in your physical body. Maybe in your hips, shoulders, your back. Take a moment to breathe in to those tight spaces. And on your exhale, relax just a little bit more. Relax your forehead. Relax your cheeks. Relax your ears. Relax your jaw. Relax your throat. Relax your shoulders. Relax your fingers, your wrists. Relax your hips. Relax your knees. Relax your ankles. Relax your toes. Taking a cleansing breath in through your nose, breathing in all the way to your low belly. Breathing in, breathing in. An open mouth exhale, let it out. Resuming normal breath, being completely present in this moment. Imagine the color red at the base of your spine, sitting beneath your tailbone, holding you and supporting you. And from that red light of energy, envision roots connecting you to the earth, coming straight from your tailbone as a part of you, rapidly growing into the earth beneath you, fixating you to Mother Earth, to Mama Gaia, and connecting you, keeping you safe, keeping you supported. Repeating silently to yourself, I am grounded to the earth. I am connected to source. Maintaining that red light just beneath your spine, connecting you to the earth. Draw your energy just below your belly button, where you find an orange bright light flickering and spinning slowly but steadily as your sacral chakra lights up. Repeating silently to yourself, I am divine creativity. Being fully aware that you're connected to the earth. Your root chakra is lit up with the color red. Your sacral chakra is lit up with the color orange. And you bring your awareness just above your belly button, finding yellow light, bright like the sun. Maybe you even feel the warmth of the sun in your solar plexus, right below your rib cage, right where your diaphragm sits. Maybe even picture a beautiful sunset. As the solar plexus glows brighter, repeating silently to yourself, I am wise in my actions. I am balanced in my emotions. I am peaceful in my mind. With your lit up chakras, red, orange, and yellow, moving your energy, your attention to your heart. And seeing your heart enveloped by a green light. Green like the grass, green like the trees. Taking a breath into all 4 chambers of your heart. And seeing this green light, this open, loving energy expand beyond your physical body. Wrapping you in this moment in the arms of love. Repeating silently to yourself, I open my heart to higher and higher levels of love. Allowing that heart energy to keep you in a bubble of green light with your physical chakras lit up, red, orange, and yellow, and your body surrounded by the green light of your heart. Moving up to your throat, the color blue, blue like the sky, blue like the ocean. The light spins, the energy opens. Repeating silently to yourself, I speak the truth of who I am with love, wisdom, and clarity. Feeling how your anatomy changes as you repeat each affirmation, opening and aligning your chakras, your energy centers. You are healing. As the light continues to burn blue in your throat, the energy connection moves up to the third eye, just between your eyebrows. A vibrant purple, vibrant violet color connects to your third eye, lighting up, opening this energy center. Repeating silently to yourself, I trust my intuition. Bringing your awareness to the whole picture. the roots that connect you to the earth, the red light at your root, the orange at your sacral, the yellow at your solar plexus, the green coming from your heart and wrapping you fully in the arms of love, the blue at your throat, the violet at your third eye. Visualizing a bright white light coming from the heavens, penetrating your crown chakra, connecting to each of the colors beneath it, to the blue, the violet, the green, the yellow, the orange, the red, so that the heavens, your higher power, source energy, are connecting you all the way through to the roots that you are connected with the earth. Repeating silently to yourself, I am connected to my higher self. Bathing in this energy of alignment, clarity, of openness, of balance, of love, groundedness, creativity, confidence, compassion, expression, intuition, consciousness. Bring your energy back into your heart, pulling that green light back into the 4 chambers of your beautiful, loving, beating heart. And take a deep breath in and a long breath out. Deep breath in and a long breath out. If it feels good, placing your left hand on your heart and your right hand on your belly. Thanking yourself for stepping into this space this evening, for staying for the meditation. Taking ownership of your own healing journey. Bring your hands together at heart center. Looking down into your heart space. The divine and the light within me honors and sees the divine and the light within you. In this space, we recognize that we are one. Namaste. Thank you for staying. I hope you all feel amazing. And again, a couple things I want to repeat. One, we are on day 2. If you go to my Facebook group of the, sorry, I feel amazing from that too. So I'm kind of like reeling from the meditation myself, but we're doing a 7-day chakra meditation in my Facebook group, Empowered and Enlightened. And it is a private group. So you do have to be a member. It's not a paid group at the moment. But we've already done root chakra. We've already done sacral chakra, and we're doing it every day at 9 a.m. Eastern until we get to the crown chakra, which is going to be on the 22nd. So if you would like to participate in that, and then my YouTube channel, you can watch all of the previous episodes of Random and Relevant. This is the last episode for this year, but I will be re-recording new chakra meditations and putting them on my YouTube channel, possibly at the beginning of the year. Definitely subscribe to that. I do offer healing sessions. I am certified in Reiki, and I use Reiki energy healing in my healing sessions. If there's something that you're struggling with, I offer not only healing sessions, but life coaching, work with goal setting. I have a lot of different things that I offer to kind of help you be the best version of yourself, mind, body, and spirit. It's my passion to help you heal from anything and everything that might be ailing you. And then also, if you're interested in essential oils, I don't have a link for that right now, but you can message me on Instagram. I do have the chakra healing essential oils, but I also have a medicine cabinet collection, a mental health collection, an autism collection, and then a few specialty blends. And I can make an essential oil blend for anything. So if you've never used oils, or if you have and you want to try those, I would welcome any inquiries or anybody that has any questions about any of that. I thank you all for being here. This has been one of my favorite Random and Relevant calls, and I apologize for going over a little bit, but my inbox is always open if anybody has any questions. And if you need anything, or if you want to go deeper into any one of these topics, want to book a session with me, then I would absolutely welcome and look forward to working with each and every one of you. So have an amazing rest of your Thursday, and I will see you guys next time. Namaste.
First sponsor. Say fire.